Hello, world. Welcome to another D&D Beyond dev update. Welcome back. This is our weekly show where we sort of check in with you guys on our development roadmap with all the features that are in progress and coming out over at that there D&D Beyond. And then we also do a Q&A with some of our devs, our engineers, our workers, so that you guys can actually get in touch with the team that makes the tool set and get a little more of an in-depth idea of what's going on. I'm Joe. I don't matter. Here's Mellie Doucette, who is much more important than me, our community manager. Thank you so much for being here, my friend.
Joe, you matter to me. So if nothing else, you've
Thank you.
got
But
one.
Mellie, you know who matters more? Our guest today. Will you let the world know who we've got on today?
We have the amazing Dani Sadczenko and Julie Hawkins coming on today. Going to be amazing chat with them. They're both software engineers for D&D Beyond. They work on amazingly cool stuff. So if you got questions for them, go ahead and throw those in the chat. That's going to be the word question. Don't put a symbol in front of it, just the word question, and then your question, and that will, come over to us, and we'll get as many of those questions answered as we can.
Yeah, super stoked to have them on. Super stoked that you guys are here. Let's jump right on into the roadmap so that we can get to that Q&A. So first stop on the roadmap, it's been a weird week in the world of Dungeons & Dragons, a very weird, busy week. So we've got 2 books available for pre-order right now. On Monday, The Wild Beyond the Witchlight was announced. That's available for pre-order. We can't tell you a lot about it yet. You're going to have to tune in more for. You're going to have to tune in to D&D Live over on G4 for more details. But for now, we know that this is D&D's first official venture into the Feywild in 5th edition, outside of the occasional mention in a book or a subclass. So we're super stoked about that. Big Feywild fans here, so very excited about that one. Mellie, we got a second book available for
Yeah, we
pre-order.
have another book. We got 2 books that we announced this week. It was a very exciting, busy week, and it's going to be a very exciting, busy several months. Strixhaven, A Curriculum of Chaos, which is the next Magic the Gathering book that is coming out, source book. So Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, Mythic Odysseys of Theros, and now this one. These books always introduce something really exciting and cool. Look, we got this amazing trailer video showing right now. I'm super excited about this. Again, we don't know much about it yet, but we sure are going to learn more at D&D Live in July. So I'm excited to find out. This is basically like a magical school setting, which I've always wanted to play in D&D. I've always wanted to sort of explore what that would look like, just having sort of a little bit more of a focus setting. So I'm very, very excited for what this book is going to
Yeah,
bring.
stoked about this. I'm not a Magic the Gathering player. Math in general has never been my thing. Um, but I know our own Michael Galvis, who heads up our editorial over on dndbeyond.com, is losing his mind about this book right now. I'm super stoked. And I also really dug Ravnica as a setting, so I'm super excited about this. We've also got, so sorry, Mellie, I'm going to make you drop details on this too. We recently did, I believe this was last week, maybe the week before. I don't know. I still
2 weeks
live
ago.
in this corner at all times. So 2 weeks ago, but making sure that everybody knows that it's available. Just because we said it once doesn't mean that everybody knows. We did a free cosmetic drop on character backdrops for you guys to help sort of guss up your character sheet and personalize, so you can find those on your character sheet under settings and customization.
Yeah, there's actually backdrops, and there's also 3 frames and 3 theme colors. So, just a few things from out of the vault for people to use. We've also got the game log dice targeting feature has gone live. That was last week. So now you can say, "Hey, I want to just show my rolls to only me because I'm just gonna practice rolling for a bit and just try to get all that bad luck out because I am full of it and I don't like it." You can also just, hey, send it directly to the DM. Have them just do something sneaky. I don't want the other characters to know. You can also just send it to everybody. You can choose a default in the game log. And then if you want to just change it for one roll, you can right click and change it for just that one roll. You don't have to right click every single time. Once you've set your default, boop, single click. But that's available to players on their character sheets. It's also available to DMs. If you are a subscriber, you've got the Alpha Combat Tracker, which means that you can roll on monster stat blocks, and you can also do the game log to just hide your rolls, like put up that DM screen. Hey, this is only for me. or you can make it public. I really like rolling just in front of everybody. I like the drama that it creates, so I set it to everyone. And you can even, again, right click and change it for one roll. So this roll I want to make public, or this roll I want to make private. It's a pretty handy feature, so go ahead and check that out.
Yeah, Mellie and Pat, or Mellie, who'd you demo that with last week? That was
Andrew,
Pat,
yeah,
right?
me and Andrew Searles
Andrew,
demoed that.
Andrew, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Andrew,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely Andrew. So check out that demo if you missed it. And it's funny, Mellie, that you mentioned sort of, getting all the bad luck rolled out of your dice before you rolled them, because when your horrible dice rolling is very handy to me is when we are playing the House of Lament on Wednesdays. Transition. That's why they pay me the big bucks.
Perfect.
You guys, is those sharp transitions. We've been playing the House of Lament from Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft on Wednesdays at 4:00 Pacific time. I've been DMing that. Mellie has joined me there, as has our own Michael Galvis and Amy Dallen, the great Amy Dallen. So our last episode is next week. It's pretty simple to catch up. It's what, 4 episodes. They're 90 minutes long. We try to keep our these actual plays kind of brief for you guys. There's only so many hours of the day. I'm really pleased with the show. If I'm being honest and grant myself one nice thing to say about myself for the year, I think it's come together pretty nicely. I haven't. It's my one nice thing. 2 nice things is that show, and I really I think people should appreciate this shirt. It's a cat
It's
that
an
tells your
extremely
fortunes.
good shirt.
Thank you very much. Okay,
I
the
will
2
also
nice
say,
things
I'm
about
going to
me
give you a
this
nice
year.
thing, and you can, take it or leave it. But I think that you have a very great Van Richten in our live stream. This is great, like Alan Rickman-esque Van Richten, and I am very frustrated by him. But also, as a person spectating it, I also love it to bits and pieces.
Well, thank you. I mean, that takes us high above our limit. We're now overdrafted on nice things to say about me. But all that said, come check out the House of Lament next week as we wrap things up. It's not going to end happily, but it'll be super entertaining, and super glad that you guys have been watching that with us. What's in progress? What's in the hopper, Mellie Doucette?
Yeah, so we've got dice targeting, like I just talked about. We've got that on the website. That is also going to be planned to be available on the app. It's not available yet, but it is in the works. So we will definitely shout from the rooftops when you can do special dice targeting, game log, fun stuff in your hand on the mobile app. You'll need a phone in your hand, but you can do it there.
But you can do it. And then speaking of the app, of course, also on the way for iOS is equipment management on the app that's available for Android now. And we're working on getting that ported over to iOS. And as with everything, we will yell very loudly as soon as it's ready. And speaking of stuff that we yell loudly about, Mellie said, here, I'll take the hit on this one.
Yeah.
I'll be the bullet shield on UA. I'm not going to make you do that. So obviously on Tuesday, Wizards dropped a ton of new UA around Strixhaven, a curriculum of chaos. It's super cool. We did we did a breakdown on our Tuesday stream, sort of analyzing everything with Amy, Michael, and Riley Silverman. Those videos are also available now on YouTube, so go check those out there. We're working as diligently and as quickly as we can to make those UA available on D&D Beyond as available player options for you guys, and we will scream from the top of a mountain, just violently scream as soon as that stuff is ready. Believe me, you guys will know. Just multiple bat signals in your eyes.
Whenever there's new content for D&D Beyond, we will definitely make it known for all of you, so you don't have to check in with us. We will check in with you. But hey,
and I will share a secret.
Hey, Joe? Oh,
yeah. Well, I will share a secret. First of all, the UA delays, they're my fault. So when the UA gets delayed on D&D Beyond, remember this face and be angry at me because I am the blocker. Those are my fault.
That said,
we also have. Just yell at me. It's my fault. So that brings us to our 2021 goals. The character sheet backlog, the feature system, which is going to handle, a ton of different tools and needs from you guys, dark gifts, boons, all that kind of stuff. The feature system is sort of being built up, designed to handle and implement all of those things. So not only will that backlog of requests and needs sort of get filled up, but the feature system is going to make it so that as more come in the future, they'll be able to be implemented quickly and easily, because we'll have this foundation built up to do so. And then of course, continued integration of our shared play space. This is kind of a calm before the storm episode, Mellie. Man, there's a lot. This is a big year for us, and that's all I'm allowed to say.
Yep.
I really wish we could be
TM.
Yeah. Really wish we could we could be less cryptic, but yeah, it's a good year. Speaking of speaking of that good year, two people who are just completely just necessary and important to making that happen. Super excited to have Dani and Julie on again. Audience community, this is your chance to really to get your questions in there and to really connect with the people that are making the tool set, that were responsible for making it happen. So be nice, be respectful, and yeah, let's have some fun. Let's bring Dani and Julie on. Hey, y'all.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Mellie.
Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll go alphabetically. Just as you guys have both been on the dev update before. We're all longtime friends. You're no strangers to the audience. But in case we have new folks watching or folks that missed you the first time around, we'll start alphabetically. Dani, hey, who are you? What do you do at D&D Beyond?
Hey, I'm Dani. I'm a senior software engineer. Currently in my role, I'm actually leading a development team. And our team is kind of serving as like kind of a support team for other teams. So we're kind of there to help complete tasks like as like there's overflow. As you all know, we have way too many things that we need to work on and not enough time to do them. So my team is basically there to help with certain tasks, depending on what's going on. We also support the marketplace, and book releases are kind of like our main goal right now. So yeah, working on a lot of exciting stuff right now. Things I can't necessarily talk about. I can tell you they involve encounter builder and combat tracker. So we are working on those things. We have not forgotten about them. Yeah, looking forward to answering questions today.
Yeah. Dani's team is a bit like the the fixer team that they send in like an assassin movie, like like send in the cleaners, and then like 6 badasses in tactical armor like kick in a window and clear a house. That's kind of the gist of her team. We also have Julie joining us. Julie's official title is Software Engineer 2, which I always read as Software Engineer the sequel. Julie, what you doing over at D&D Beyond?
So yeah, software engineer and focused on front end work, and primarily been involved on the character sheet since I started on the team, which was about 3 and some years ago. So that's kind of been my main goal, is to get features and rules supported on the character sheet, and also all of the pre-order perks and fun customizations and those types of things. That's something that I try to kind of head up as much as I can and lead as a tech lead on my team. So
yeah, Julie has an intense connection, you guys, to all of the customization stuff. She's written Hamilton songs about portrait frames. She does so much work for that stuff, so that your portrait frames look really cool and custom. Hey, Mellie, what's the community want to know from these two?
Yeah. Well, what does the community want to know? First thing, I don't even know what this means because I'm not a developer, so I'm very curious. We have from Aylwin, do you use WSJF in your Agile framework? I hope that's not offensive. I don't know what that acronym is.
WSJF. I'm honestly not sure what that stands for. Dani?
I'm feeling very exposed at the moment. I honestly don't know.
It sounds like the answer
like
is
looking
no.
it up.
Well, guys, it's clearly scaled agile framework. Anybody knows that.
Clearly.
Well,
and the fun thing about development is that. Go ahead, Dani.
Go ahead.
You're all both so
Oh, I was just going to say the fun thing about development is that sometimes these terms are interchangeable with all kinds of other, terms for processes or how to organize tasks and that type of thing. Agile is one of those frameworks for how to organize tasks and sort of prioritize the team and in order to get features fully out and developed. So I'm assuming that it has something to do with that, and it's a specialized acronym that maybe we actually do follow, but not sure what it is.
What I was going to say is that, like, while there are a lot of different frameworks and like ways of doing things, we don't strictly adhere to any of those. What we found is that anytime you try to like marry yourself to a framework, you end up kind of like hindering yourself. So we really don't play by any rules here. We follow more like guidelines, right? This is like the Pirates Code. So while we are very agile and we do lots of different agile things, we don't strictly follow any one framework. We kind of figure out what works for us and stick with that.
Rebels,
I would also just like to add, chat thankfully is filling in what this acronym is weighted shortest job first is what that stands
Google
for.
lied to me.
Oh, well, maybe chat's lying to me. I don't know. But a lot of people said it, so I'm going to assume that that's correct, and I'm going to trust them. So, chat, I hope you did not just let me down. We have a couple people asking. This would be on Julie's side. We've got the extra section of the character sheet where there can be pets and sidekicks and familiars and all that sort of thing. Reikio407 and a couple other people are asking, hey, when can we have dice rolling available in that section so that, hey, my wild shape, I can just click and roll from that? Any info on that?
Yeah, so we don't have it currently scoped into like this year's roadmap to get dice rolling into those monster blocks, but it is something that we've talked about. We know that, obviously getting the monster stat block rolling in other areas of the site has been hugely helpful for gameplay. And so, every place that we can get those digital dice rolls incorporated is going to be good. We have a backlog of places that we know we need to hit on the character sheet with dice rolling specifically, and I can tell you that vehicles and monster stat blocks are in that list. So we do have that in mind. It's not in our current, team's plan for this quarter or this roadmap for this year, but keep an eye out for more and more things becoming digitally clickable dice rolls. And the more that we hear what we need to be doing, the more we're able to scope that in our planning. So keep the feedback coming, and if we see that monster stat blocks and wild shapes specifically, those types of things are really a huge need, we will use our planning processes and make sure that can get scoped in sooner than later.
I'm a huge cheerleader for that, by the way, because I basically only play druids or rangers with pets because I'm obsessed with animals in general. So yeah, I hear that feedback and I am pushing hard for it, even though I'm not on the characters team. I'm a huge fan of that one.
Well, and just to echo, the feedback angle too, we've talked a little bit about, we've talked a lot about, sort of our feedback process and how we push that to everyone. And it really does matter, that stuff gets sorted and weighted. So yeah, like Julie said, if wild shape, is priority one, we'll know because you guys have made it priority one. So please keep that feedback up, whether it's just in the comments and if you're watching on YouTube or whatever, we'll make sure it gets pushed.
Exactly. It's wherever you've got that feedback. Hey, our Discord, our forums, social media, YouTube, here in Twitch, there are people watching and they're pushing that feedback to the team so that they can hear all the things. And we love hearing it. This question, I think, Dani, you're going to be able to give this person a little bit of good news. So, Lotus Pluto's asking, can the encounter builder be updated to take into account the level of the players and the number of players as well?
Yeah, so it currently does do that if you attach it to a campaign. It is unfortunately not live updating, right? So like if people in your campaign level up, it doesn't necessarily automatically update. What I can suggest right now is a temporary workaround, even though it's not great, is if you change it to like say a different campaign or like a preset and then change it back, it will grab the updated information. I actually do that myself, but we are very aware that this is a problem, and it is very much on our roadmap. I can't commit to dates or ETAs, but it is on a roadmap. It is being very strongly considered to be completed soon. TM. So we hear you. We know that lots of things are happening in your campaigns, and we need to like keep track of that and keep it up to date. And that is something that is coming sooner rather than later.
Definitely. And if you are somebody who, you haven't found the place on the encounter builder where, hey, I can put this onto a campaign and it'll, pull in, hey, I've got 5 level 6 players and that sort of thing. Check on our Discord or forums and say, hey, where is this? Because there are definitely moderators who can help show you, hey, this is where you find that, and you'll be able to get those loaded in. Let's see here. We have some questions coming in about again, more about the encounter builder, specifically relating to, this is coming from a few people, Dani, relating to encounters that exist in adventures already. Hey, I've got Tomb of Annihilation and there's some encounters in here. Is there a chance that sometime in the future maybe people will be able to just pull those directly instead of having to read it and then put it in their own encounter builder and run it from there?
Absolutely. There's a very strong chance of that. What I will say, as I'm sure someone is probably aware of, I'm sure someone's done the math, there are thousands of those encounters. So anyone that's ever put in data, I'm sure you can understand that that is a huge undertaking. But my team is currently working on allowing our teams to do that work. And we're working towards that goal because we hear you. No one wants to keep creating those encounters over and over, custom from scratch. So we hear you. We're actually literally working on that, but it's not something that's going to come all at once, right? Like this is something that is going to kind of happen over time. So definitely keep your eyes on the horizon. That is something that is very close to coming out. And I probably said too much, so I'm probably going to get yelled at. But anyway.
And Peg is turning to his weapon wall and choosing which tool to use for this hit. Julie, we have somebody asking, we've got Alexi Alreen. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. What is the biggest challenge you have worked on with respect to developing character sheets? Not necessarily what's coming soon, but just in general from your years with D&D Beyond.
That's a great question. The character sheet work presents a lot of challenges, for each endeavor that we take on. But I would say the biggest challenge, especially for someone like me who's very interested in the UI and the user experience of the sheet, is the amount of data that we have to present to the user at one time. It is an insane amount of information that a character holds. And when we do a pen and paper character sheet, we can kind of fill in intuitively where our brains expect to look for that information. But taking that and putting it into a digital format that then has to scale across screen sizes and give you the information you need when you want it, make it easy to find, that's a massive challenge. So the layout specifically of the character sheet, I think, and how do we move forward into the future with this layout or potentially new layouts, and how does that go into mobile, and how do people really want to use the sheet? So it's a little bit of a umbrella answer for a lot of the UI, I guess, but to me that's what I'm passionate about, is how to get you to be able to play the game without thinking about it that hard and just experiencing what what the table is experiencing together, and how to get that information in front of you without it feeling like a hunt to find the thing you're looking for. So
I still remember, I joined D&D Beyond in its very, very early days, and I still remember just the excitement when the character sheet revamp happened. I still remember what those older sheets looked like, and I loved D&D Beyond back then as well, but the revamp and what the sheets look like now, it was just like this huge level up. Like we went from, hey, we're these, level 1 to 2 adventurers, and hey, we got a subclass now. Like we just got this big power boost. And I was like the most excited. I had so many people I was able to just suddenly pull into the game because they're like, oh, this is so easy to use. And like, I don't even have to think. I've never played this game before, but I can find things on this sheet so easily. So I feel like you're totally right that the layout and how people play with those sheets, it can
Mhm.
really change the entire game.
Yeah, and to
There's
reiterate, I
also
think a North Star, the North Star. I think most of our, I mean, one of our team's North Stars. Sorry, let me word that like a human. Is that we don't want you guys to be conscious of the fact that you're using a tool set. We just want you guys to be conscious of the fact that you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, and we don't, and not playing Dungeons and Dragons whilst also fumbling around with D&D Beyond.com. We really want the experiences to be one and the same and really seamless. And Julie, to Matt, to your credit, a printed normal character sheet is fumbling around for me. In the old days, took me out of it so often. And so the fact that you've not only just translated the smoothest possible version of a physical character sheet into digital, but also like really removed. Like I find immersion much easier with the digital character sheet than even just pen and paper. So I mean, credit to you and to your team.
Thanks. It provides such an amazing opportunity to like add these elements of immersion that you don't get otherwise as well. With the themes like the theming and character frames and all those things, but also some of the stuff that we have in our future roadmap, like temporary effects, things like inventory sharing. Those are all things that are going to even provide more of that in the game experience without it feeling like you have to step out and make the decision, metagame a little bit and then go back in. So that's always kind of our goal, is to just keep the gameplay at the top of the priority, and user experience and rules and stuff obviously are important with that as well. But playing the game and having fun, that's the most important. Telling a story. So
I love
You're
that
here. I
so
think we've
much.
got time for one or two more, Mellie.
Sounds good. We've got from Weekend Warrior, Dani. Weekend Warrior would love for their players to be able to see the turn order for the encounter builder. Do you have any thoughts to share on that?
So I mean that's something that we've definitely heard before. It is great feedback. We're still kind of working out what each type of person in D&D needs to play the game, right? We have players that very much play from their character sheet, and that makes sense for 99% of everything that you need to do. And then we have DMs that are currently playing from the combat tracker, and or maybe the campaign screen, which really doesn't give them very much, which is also a problem we are very greatly aware of and working to fix. So there's something here about players and how they're engaged in combat, and so that is definitely something that we've heard. It's not something that we've currently, I guess, found a way to fix. But what I will say is we have some things on the horizon that I can't talk about that I think will help unify the play experience between DM and player and provide some of that context that players maybe miss out on right now, and also provide DMs context on things that they're currently missing out on. So we do have
Well,
some
cryptically
grander
said.
plans in the works that should help bridge that gap.
Yeah.
Well
Like Joe said at
teased,
the
Dani. Well
beginning, it's
teased.
going to be a very exciting year for D&D Beyond. Let's just finish off everybody's favorite question. They need to know. Organized chaos needs to know. What are your favorite dinosaurs, Dani and Julie? I'm gonna throw it to
I
Dani
mean, I
first
answered this
because
question in the
oh,
previous one. I have kind of still the same answer, and I just still don't remember the name of the dinosaur. But it's the it's the dinosaur in Jurassic Park that spits the ink out and has the big like frilly neck
Yeah,
skin.
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Besides,
Dilophosaurus.
Hey,
that.
there we go. Okay, Dani, no
That's a really cool
pressure.
one. Yeah, it's tough. It's like I feel like dinosaurs are one of those things that it's kind of like pirates, right? Everyone thinks pirates are really cool, but if you ever met one in real life, you'd be like, oh, like they're like smelly or whatever, right? Like, so like my favorite dinosaur, I think like the coolest one is like probably the raptor, but also I know a raptor would like easily destroy me if I ever met one, right? So like I'd probably like one of like the cuter dinosaurs that just eats leaves and like could hang out with me all day, kind of like on Land
Yeah.
Before Time, right? So
Yeah.
I'll say raptor just because I think that they're the coolest, but not necessarily that would be like my pick for like hanging out with a dinosaur.
I appreciate
really like that
a
clarification.
realistic, pragmatic, realistic,
Yeah,
pragmatic.
like
Yeah,
we
no, I
need a
appreciate it.
favorite dinosaur and the dinosaur that you want to like have a chill day with.
Like,
I
what
think that that's
dinosaur would you
our
cuddle with,
evolution of this
right?
question. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you need like the one that you would like animals, right? I love dogs. I'm a dog person. I like other animals too, but I can cuddle with my dogs all day. There's other animals I like that I probably couldn't cuddle with. So I don't know. But favorite dinosaur just based on like purely cool and what I've seen them do for sure is like raptors. Like they're just so cool. Like at the end of Jurassic World where like it helps out, like it's so cool. So raptors.
And guys, I've got to say, folks, even with the cuddle criteria, Triceratops, I still feel like is taking the win here. Just there's a place to sit, there's places to hug. It's still the superior dinosaur. I think Dani has just continued to prove it. Hey, thank you guys so much for taking a little time out of your day and chatting with the community. Thank you guys for being here, getting your questions in. Always very just happy that you guys are here, hanging out with us. Mellie, Dani, Julie, thank you all so much, and we'll have you back as soon as we possibly can to keep chatting with everybody. And we'll see you guys. We'll be streaming again later today at noon, getting into a little lore of the Feywild and Strixhaven. We'll see you guys then. Thank you so much. Be safe, be kind. Bye.